and welcome back again to another thrilling episode of The Washed Out Hobbyist. My name's Rob, and we're going to be looking at the other half of a box set for this other episode of Will It Army. And to that point, let's get into a position to discuss it. So, in the previous episode, we looked at the Stormcast half of this box. Now, it is time to look at the more less than friendly units that make up Destruction's more, well, not depraved, but it's more green faction. And of course, I'm talking about the Kruleboyz. So, what we're looking at for the army here is let's look at it. So you get a Killaboss on Great Gnashtooth, 10 Gut Rippers, 20 Hobgrotslitters, a Killaboss with Stabagrot, Manskewer Bolt Boys, Merknob with Belchabana, and a Swamp Kala Shaman with Potgrot. Now, this also answers the question of will it army at 1,000 points in the same way that the Stormcast half does, but not to the same extent. Whereas the Stormcast answered that with over 1,200 points in there, the Kruleboyz only have about 1,070 points. So that's, a little underwhelming. So basically, with your leader units, we're just gonna kill a boss on GG 220 points. Oops. Kill a boss with Stabagrot, 130. Merc Knob with BB, 120. Swamp Kala Shaman with PG, 120. So 120 points between 4 leader models, which that's a little low, especially compared to the Stormcast half of Dominion. And then this is also kind of like, so essentially 170 for the Gut Rippers. Gut Rippers, 170. And Hobgrot Slit is 200. So honestly, this box is a little underwhelming at 1,070 points. That's a little underwhelming. Now, is it still a 1,000-point army? You bet it is. Which, there we go. Do I think they probably could have put in another unit of Gut Rippers? Yes, I do. I wholeheartedly think they could have gotten away with more Gut Rippers. Because that would have made a little more sense, but no real other complaints other than that. The plan was to never, I guess, leave it at, this. But at the same time, again, it has its problems. That's all I'm going to say. It has its problems. How do we improve upon it? Honestly, well, let's have a look-see. So, honestly, I don't know. You could probably just get away with, let's see. Can't really use the Cunnin crew. So I would say probably at least throw in 2 more of your Gut Rippers, One more of your man skewer bolt boys. Although, actually, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna make this a 2,000 point army. So let's see. Do that. We're gonna talk about this in terms of being a 2,000 point army. So yeah, oops, that's the wrong one. A couple of beast skewer killbows. And you know what? We're also going to throw in a Warcry warband, the Kruleboyz Monster Killers. 2 unit, and here we're going to 2 units of gut rippers for 340 points right there. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to put in the man skewer. But yeah, you also get the man skewer bolt boys for 110 points. And that's how you get to 1,070. I cannot believe I actually almost messed that out. Okay. So the man skewer bolt boys, you get another one of those. Make sure that they're okay. Good. To beast skewer, kill bows, 320 points. And make sure. Okay, and Kruleboyz Monster Killers. Okay. So let's see. We got those two, that. Okay. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to exit out of that. I promise as I get better at doing this, or as I go, I will get better at doing this. But for now, this is where I'm at. Still learning this whole thing. Okay, so we're looking at 1,960 points now. Okay, we're gonna space this out. So 200, 370, 470, 480. Okay, so 480 points. Okay, let's see. Again, this is just kind of ridiculous that the leadership is what makes up most of what's in this box. Like, over 1,000 points between the two armies' respective leaderships. That's just crazy to me. Okay, so that's 350, 470, 590. Yeah, that's correct. All right, so basically, though, all these upgrades that I mentioned here, the 2 units of adding in 2 extra units of gut rippers, an extra unit of man skewer bolt boys, the 2 beast skewer killbows, and the Kruleboyz monster killers for 120. You know, get you up to you've got a pretty big body count now. You've got some big weapons to kind of like shoot things in the distance. You got bodies to get on objectives, hold them and kill. You know, you've got something going on with this army. You know, again, can't really complain. You're getting over 1,000 points for less than $80. If you split it with a friend, getting over 2,000 points of minis, over 2,300 points of minis for 150 if you keep this to yourself and have like 2 armies. And again, like if you do follow these upgrade paths, you know, you then have like 2 rather sizable armies clashing into each other. And they're beating the crap out of each other. You know. So, would I say this is a good box of value? Yes. Is this a good box value to split with a friend? Even better. Is it, good to keep both halves of the army to yourself? Yes. Is it more fun with a friend? Oh, definitely. Like, this is something that you could even surprise a friend with, being like, hey, I bought this and I want you to have this. You could easily do that with a friend. It's kind of crazy. And if you feel like just playing with the contents of the box, obviously you're going to take Yndrasta out of there. You're going to take like, I don't know, like a unit of Hobgrot Slitters out. Well, yeah, and that would be a pretty balanced game. Other than that, yeah, just again, highly recommend this one. Um, you're playing orcs, you're playing the boys. You're going to want to have a lot of bodies. You're going to want to get aggressive. There are some monsters you could definitely bring into the table. Like, that is an option. You know, like, if you just want to, like, just go all Kruleboyz and just have, like, as many boys out there as you can, that is another path to go. Kruleboyz, most people, when the Kruleboyz first came out, did not particularly like them or care for them because they're like, oh, these are just Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings. And I could see that, but I also am looking at it from a design spot because you have Gorkers, the guys that are gonna crump you from the front, and the Iron Jaws fit that perfectly, but they don't fit the Morker side of things, the get behind you and stab you, brutal cunning, rather than cunning brutal. Like, just the sneaky get in there, stab the guys, and get out. And the way that they have designed the Kruleboyz, it kind of fits that aesthetic perfectly. Like, honestly, it really does. And I'm more than happy to say that this is a good value for either side of the box that you want, or if you want both sides of the box. And it's honestly one of those kinds of things that I would recommend someone getting into the hobby for the first time, kind of do that. And, like I said, good value for you and a friend or yourself. Or if you got a couple of friends that are wanting to get into it and you want to get them a nice gift to get into it and they like the Stormcast and the Kruleboyz, this is a good route for that too. But in the meantime, though, that is going to have to be the end of this particular episode. It has actually been a lot of fun to cover this topic. It's box sets like this that don't get sold very often that led to me wanting to do this project. That it's like I love list building for the sake of list building. Not that I would ever use most of these lists that I come up with. I mean, maybe if I had like the units or the disposable income to, throw that out there, being like, okay, I'm gonna get this box, gonna build this exact army, gonna throw it on the tabletop. But it's just for people that are looking to get into the hobby that don't see a lot of ways to get in. This is the video that I'm wanting to make to reach out to you folks. The people that are wanting to get into the hobby are seeing all of these fancy things, but not understanding or having a clear direction and upgrade path to go from it. Or people just buying these boxes and like, is there a way to go from here? I am wanting to reach out to that demographic and kind of help. And I enjoy this. So basically, be good and see you in the next one. Bye bye.